Om Shanti. Today Baba says that the difference between Brahma element and Shiv Baba is that the Brahma element is not knowledgeful. Yes, so people thought that Brahma is God. Not Brahma, Brahma. Brahma means the home of souls. And you see that sannyasis had figured out, by practicing silence, they had figured out that there is a home. And they had figured out that there is something called the Brahma. And although they didn't have much details of Brahmalok, they had still figured out that it is somewhat, this red in color, orangish, reddish in color. And that's why they started wearing clothes of that color also. So, but they thought that that is God, the one they saw in visions and the one they reached was God. But Baba comes and tells us that no, they saw the Brahma, that's the Ghar, your home. And Baba introduces us to the home of souls. And Baba says that you call the home by many names: Nirvan Dham, Shanti Dham, Mukti Dham, Brahmalok, Parlok, Param Dham. All these are the names of the home of souls. And Baba says that's the home of souls where I and you stay. And from there you come to play your role. I also stay there, that's my residence as well. But I am not the Brahma. And there is a big difference between the Brahmalok and Shiv Baba. So Shiv Baba is a conscient being, and the Brahmalok is not a conscient, it's not living, it's a world, it's a space. And then Baba says that the major difference is that I am the ocean of knowledge. The Brahma is not the ocean of knowledge. And what you need is knowledge. So the way what you're getting is because of what you're doing, and what you're doing is because that's the much you know. You don't know better. So if you know better, you would do better and get better. That's the law. So Baba says, because you don't know things, that's why everything is so topsy-turvy. So Baba tells us that I am the ocean of knowledge and I give you knowledge. And if you look at it, we need first the knowledge of purity, knowledge of peace, knowledge of everything. Even about the virtues, we need knowledge first before we can become an embodiment of it. So Baba says, I come and give you all the knowledge there is. And I give you the knowledge of the soul and the Supreme Soul. And today Baba spoke some lines and then it made me think. So Baba today says that the Supreme Soul too is a star. Look how there is so much praise of such a tiny thing. The ocean of knowledge, the ocean of love, the ocean of happiness. He's the one who does everything. These are said to be completely deep matters. So do you understand the value of what Baba is saying? So just think about it. Baba is just a point of light. Yes. And then in it's not just now that Baba has told us, but even in Bhakti, we know that He's the ocean of knowledge, purity, peace, love, everything. Now you just imagine that the one everybody is looking up to, and the one who is supposed to purify the world, make heaven on earth, is the creator, and that one looks like just a point, an invisible point of light. And do you understand the power of being? Yes, so we know the power of doing, we know the power of having. But do you realize the power of being? And that's the power that Baba has. And just think about it, a soul, Baba is a soul who doesn't even have a body. And yet he is the world transformer. And when we count our limitations, so do you count your limitations sometimes? So this is my limitation and I can't do this because of this and that. So just think about what you call as your limitation. And we count, we say that if I don't have, one instrument, I cannot do this work. But Baba does everything even when he doesn't have a body. Yes, so do you understand the power of the being, the soul, and how powerful you are? And today Baba is talking about yoga. And yoga is a very interesting thing. So we always theoretically say, and I tell you, ever since I came into Gyan, I've been hearing this, that you become like the one you have yoga with. But every year, every passing year, I have understood it better. It's not like, this sentence, this statement was told to me 10 years back, 12 years back. But and I remembered it also. It's not like I forgot it. I tried to apply it also. But I really understand what yoga is much better today than I understood 5 years back. And when you have yoga with someone, you become like them. And yoga is a very subtle process. You see, if somebody is crippled and you see that that person has some problem with the leg or the hand or whatever, and then you see that they are doing everything, they are functioning well, and they are you have many inspirational stories where they are doing great work and they are not allowing their physical limitation to affect them. And by watching that 10-minute of video, you suddenly have gratitude for what you have, and you feel very ashamed of what you are calling as your limitation. And suddenly it fills you with power and strength and possibility and hope. And you believe in the power of something that is beyond the body. And it's not told that way. It's just a very subtle communication. So when you have yoga with someone who is beyond limitations, or lesser limitations than you, then you tend to give up your limitations through that yoga. Yes, so this yoga is a very subtle thing, and yoga is not about sitting and thinking. It's intellectual connect, not intellectual connect, but connect of the intellect. So your buddhi is connected to that being, that entity. And through that connection of the buddhi, you are drawing in qualities and powers and virtues and knowledge. So this is yoga. Yoga is when you connect your buddhi with somebody and you start thinking about them, and then they start influencing your ideas and your the way you look at the world and how you look at your limitations or your strengths, and that is yoga. And Baba says that you have had yoga with the impure world for very long, and that's why you've become more and more impure, because impure means weak. So you are always having yoga with weak souls. And then when you are having yoga with weak souls, you're also becoming weak. Yes, you're looking at somebody who has, externally they are endowed and they have everything, and then they are cribbing about, complaining about little things, and then you have yoga with them, and then you also start thinking that probably you are cribbing less, you can crib more. Yes, so all that is also yoga, and it's a very subtle thing. You are having yoga all the time with so many entities. And then Baba says that you just look at me. I am the purifier of the world. I am the creator. I am the remover of sorrow, bestower of happiness. And I don't even have a body. And just think about it. Baba has brought such a big shift in you, and he doesn't have a body. He took somebody's mouth on loan and he spoke what he knew, and that knowledge is bringing about this transformation in the hearts of us. And yesterday there was somebody and they were telling me that they have a problem with somebody, and I said, why don't you communicate? आप बोलो. I said, आप बोलो ना, बात करो. So he said that, and he was very angry, and he told me, क्या बोलने से हो जाएगा? तो I said, बोलने से दुनिया बदल जाती. I said, Baba, through speaking, he has changed the world. He converted us from a Shudra to a Brahmin through words. But how you speak and who you are matters. So words are only as powerful as the one who speaks them. And if you claim to be as honest and as worthy as you are saying, then your words will matter. And Baba says that I don't even have a mouth of my own. I don't know the language. I don't. So I use the mouth and the sanskars, Brahma Baba has the language and the understanding of the culture and everything. And Baba says, I just have pure knowledge and I give it through this instrument, and I give you the power of purity through the drishti. I am who I am, and that transforms the world. And what makes you question the power of being after this? So why do we still rely on the power of having and doing? And I tell you, in this whole journey, I cannot claim fully, but to a large extent, I have realized the power of being. And this being is a very powerful energy. So when you are pure, when you are, Baba is the ocean of purity, ocean of knowledge, So when you are knowledgeful, pure, blissful, powerful, happy, and in a loveful state, then you don't know how much of transformative power you have. And how do you become that? By having yoga with the one who is like that. So that's why Baba says, always keep me in your buddhi. Keep my image, my virtues, my vision, my activity in your buddhi. And when you're always thinking about Baba and that's yoga with Baba, then you also start shifting from within. And then you will see that many things, and these days there is a brother, and he has been in Gyan for around 6 years now. And yesterday he told me, Didi, earlier everything that I started met with a lot of obstacles. So if I'm planning something, trying to do something, then I met all the unfavorable people in the first 30 days. So all the unfavorable circumstances in the beginning. But now I don't know what, but every time I step in, things work out. It's working out, and that's huge, because sometimes I don't even expect that much of compliance from nature or from the souls, but they're giving it to me, and I feel like it's a gift that I'm getting every day. And he was very happy to share it. And then I told him, because you're changing from within. When you shift who you are, then what you speak, what you do, where you step in, the way things work out because of those actions will be very different. So Baba says, but then if you have yoga with Baba, then you see that you will not be self-centered like you are today. Baba is not self-centered. Baba doesn't think about my business, my home, my children. Baba thinks about universal happiness. Baba thinks about Seva, Vishwa Kalyan. So when we have yoga with Baba, our hearts will also be bigger. And when you have a bigger heart, then that heart is, satisfied through everything. Everything complies with you. So Baba tells this beautiful thing today, that just think about it. I'm a tiny star and I do everything. And then you are complaining after being a tiny star plus a body plus health plus wealth plus everything. You're so much plus, and then you're complaining. And I don't have anything. And still, and Baba is not working in the soul world. Baba worked here. So in this physical world, you can work with the power of the being. And you can take support, A human was able to lend his body to Baba. So many children surrendered their life to Baba. So many surrendered their wealth to Baba. Why? Because that's the power of the being. You will receive all the cooperation you need. But who you are matters. Yes. So that's what Baba tells today. And then Baba today says that there are two powers, Gyan and Yog. And first thing is Yog, because Gyan is also given by Baba. And if we don't have Yog with Baba, then Baba's Gyan will not sit in my buddhi. So if only when I am relating to Baba, I'm connecting with Baba as Baba, because relationship, connection, they need a sense of belonging and a sense of affinity and closeness. So only when you accept that Baba is my parent, my teacher, my Satguru, and my everything, then you are able to connect with Baba, have yoga with Baba, and then you are able to see yourself as as someone who is like Baba, not as you are Bhagwan and I am just an ordinary being. No, you start seeing yourself as the child of the Supreme, and then what he says makes sense to you, because he is not speaking from a mundane consciousness, he is speaking from a place of high consciousness. So when he is speaking about from a place of high consciousness, then you will only be able to understand that when you are in yoga with him. Yes. And I remember that when I was, when I used to go for a job and, look after mundane tasks, I thought I'm doing pretty well, managing work and life and, that was a big balance for me. And I really thought that I am doing everything that I can and it cannot get better. And then one day Didi told me that, why don't you take up seva? You should take up responsibility for seva. And I just looked at her and I just thought, how could she even think that with the job and with the work at home, I could do seva? How could she even think of it? And then I said, no, I can't do all this. And then slowly, gradually, as much as yoga I had with Baba, I started believing that I'm limiting myself so much and I'm capable of so much more. And why my heart is so narrow and closed, and if I have a bigger heart, then Baba can work through me. And I could understand how Baba looks at me when I surrendered, that buddhi. And Baba says that only when you start thinking about me as your parent, teacher, Satguru, and start taking my word as truth and start surrendering to it, you will realize who you really are. And then what I'm telling you will start making sense to you, because when we when we go through the Murli, most of the things look like, okay, Baba might be talking to dadis or didis or whatever. This point is not for me. Yes, so Baba today says that Mama gave her life. Yes, Mama gave her body, in seva. She surrendered every inch of her, ounce of her energy in seva. So when you read that Murli, you think that maybe he is talking just about Mama, it's not about me. So that's Gyan, and that Gyan will make sense to you and you will relate to it, that I can also do the same when you have yoga with Baba. So this is something that Baba says. And then Baba tells something very interesting today. Baba says, who is the one who always stays young in Kali Yuga? And Baba says, Ravan, the vices always stay young in Kali Yuga. And I want to share something very experiential with you, that there is this one sister and she was telling me that she's aged around 30 and her boss is around 55. And then she told her boss something about Gyan and he undertook the course also. And then her boss always had one question which was about vices and purity and this and that. And he was not comfortable with purity and he didn't continue. And then one day he said that, I think that, as you age, you automatically lose interest in vices. You become purer and sainter as you age. And then that sister said, if that was the reason, if that was true, then I at 30 would not be advocating purity and you at 50 wouldn't be rejecting it. So, so this is not true. This is something you must understand. And I also want to point this out because in the body conscious world, we also think that all older people don't have vices and we approach them that way. But that's not true. So you must always know that there is a saying in Hindi, "Aap bhai bude Trishna bhai jawan." So, the older your body gets, the stronger your sanskars get. And if you have not made a conscious attempt to change your sanskars, do not expect that with age they will just change. Have you seen older people becoming contented and very kind and sharing and caring with age? No, they crib about little things. There is a lot of comparison, criticism, jealousy. I want this, I've not been given this. There is a lot of things. And it's not like with old age you get calmer and kinder and more content. No, it doesn't happen that way. Nor is it true about lust. Even about lust, the sanskar of lust only gets worse and worse with age. And this is why Baba tells us that you understand this law, and when you understand this law, you must understand that if you want to get better with age, you have to work on your sanskars. You work on your sanskars, and only when you work on your sanskars consciously will you get better with age. So that's something that Baba tells us today. And today Baba says lust is the greatest enemy, however, it is the supreme friend of human beings. That is why they continue to trouble one another. And what you always want to get rid of the enemy and you always want to keep your friend close. So in that sense, people are always advocating lust and always having questions about purity. But if you nurture an enemy, it's going to deceive you badly. Yes, so see, I tell you, there are two separate questions. One is your idea about lust, how you see lust as a friend or an enemy. The second thing is how to get rid of the sanskar. These are two different questions. Now, sometimes when people are not able to get rid of the sanskar, they say that this is a good thing and this is a friend, this is not an enemy. But that's not the approach you have to make. First, you have to understand that these vices are your enemy, and the relationship you have as a soul with them should be antagonistic. And then working on your sanskar is an effort. It doesn't happen overnight. Yes, so first you have to understand that these vices are not okay, they are not normal, natural, or they are not good for you. So change your relationship with vices first through the understanding that Baba gives. And okay, the second thing, which is overcoming your sanskar, that is an effort, because there is 63 births of sanskars. But if you keep defending something because you have a sanskar of it, then you are never going to get rid of that sanskar. Yes, so understand that lust is not your friend. Excuse me. So there is this brother, and he told me that um, when I told him about purity, he told me it is impossible to get rid of lust. So I said, I am not talking about whether it is possible or not. Let us first clarify whether it is good or not, whether it is desirable or not. Okay, let us talk about, what if you could get rid of lust? Would that be a good thing or a bad thing? And then after some conversation, he said, oh no, that would be a good thing, but is it possible? So I said, no, first you think about this, how good it is. Because when you know that this is your enemy, then you can do away with it. So don't keep defending something and saying that, this is impossible. Okay, even if it is impossible, or, possible with a great effort, that's a different question. But what is my relationship with the vice? That's important. Do I think lust is normal and necessary and important and good? That's where the problem lies. Okay. So this is something that Baba tells today. And then Baba in the slogan today says that use any facilities you have for doing service, not for your own comfort. Yes. So just have an honest check. Are you using your facilities for seva or for your own comfort? Okay, now let me tell you that if you're using your facilities for your own comfort, then they are making you a slave. Right? The more comfort you have, the more prone to discomfort you are. Yes? These days, it is very easy to trouble somebody. Just switch off the Wi-Fi. They go mad. They just go mad. You don't have to utter a word. You don't have to do anything. You can just, with the switch off of a button, you can drive a person mad. Why? Because this is how they are training themselves. So you must understand that comfort is not a good thing. Comfort makes you prone to discomfort, or it increases. The more comfortable you are, the more capacity to be discomfortable or uncomfortable you have. That's how it works. Yes. If somebody has no habit of sitting in the AC, they don't mind the weather. But if you have a habit of, and there is one sister, she told me, if my air conditioner is not at the precise temperature at which I want it, and it is 1 degree lesser or higher, I cannot stay there. So just imagine how much of discomfort you are susceptible to, vulnerable to, if you are too comfortable. Yes, so I told her, so if Dharamraj has to punish you, he just has to lower the temperature or increase the temperature 1 degree. So one day your AC is not functioning at the temperature you want it, and that is Dharamraj ki saza for you. And then people say we don't want Dharamraj ki saza. Dharamraj's work is very easy now. Yes. So, and you seen people generally when they talk, they use this expression, if this doesn't happen, I just die. I feel like dying. All that is Dharamraj ki saza. Look at how you are living your life, that this small thing gives you an experience of death. Yes, nobody has to strangle you or kill you. This small thing they take away and you feel like you're dying. So and who gets Dharamraj ki saza? Papi. So this is a pap. If you're using all your resources for too much comfort, that's a sin that's being committed. And you pay for that sin. So Baba says, use your resources in seva. And the more you use your resources in seva, your adversity quotient will go up. You will have so much resilience and spiritual strength which comes from the blessings, that even in the face of adversity, you will just, surf and glide and sail, and you will not feel the pain of it. So Baba says, you must not commit this sin of using everything you have for your own comfort. You must use it for seva. And just think about it, it's a very big thing. Yes. So this is today's Murli, and you must go through the blessing. In the blessing, Baba is giving us a lot of intoxication. So Baba says, at the confluence age, you children have the greatest fortune of happiness, because God Himself has chosen you. You have become the masters of the unlimited. Each of your names is in God's dictionary of who is who. Do you understand? You are registered in God's dictionary of who is who. You have found the unlimited Father. You are to receive the unlimited fortune of the kingdom. You have received unlimited treasures. Constantly have the intoxication of this. Don't forget this. And you will continue to experience super sensuous joy. And if you just remember this, your heart will always be full of happiness. Baba says, this is unlimited spiritual intoxication. Continue to experience this and give others the same experience, and you will be said to have the fortune of happiness. So fortune of happiness doesn't come from external resources. It comes from the realization of how fortunate you are to have found Baba. Okay, Om Shanti.